Good afternoon, class. Today we'll be discussing Microsoft Excel Fundamentals for Beginners. So the first step is downloading Microsoft Excel. And for that, you're going to want to visit the Microsoft website and download Microsoft 365, which has all of the Microsoft products. If you're using this for your school or for your work, you're going to want to sign up with your school or work email, and you should be able to access it for free. If you're using this for your personal use, you're going to want to create an account and then purchase the programs. So this is a workbook, and a workbook is just the entire Excel file. And just going through some key terms, a cell is just a single box where you can enter data. So what I'm clicking through right now. A worksheet is a single tab in the workbook. So what I'm clicking through right now, you can add different tabs if you want different data. And then a formula is an expression that is used to calculate values. So for my example, the formula that I'm going to be entering is just adding all of these up. So I'd click what I want to add up, add plus, and you're just selecting the data and adding it up and clicking enter. And then a function is just a predefined formula. So it's just a quicker way to get that. And for this, the example I'm using is sum equals sum. And then you're going to want to select the range of data that you want to add up. And then you want to click enter. And it's just two different ways to get simple data entered.
This part of the video is on how to create a basic 2D pie chart on Excel to visually represent parts of a whole. The first step is to enter your data in two columns. As you can see here, we have fruits and then quantity. From here, what you're going to do is click and drag to highlight both of these columns, and then you're going to click on the Insert tab up here on the top, and then you're going to go to the little pie chart icon and click 2D pie. So as you can see, that created our chart, and then since we have these two headings selected, it did input the chart title. What we're going to do is double click to change that, and I'm going to do quantity of fruits to change the title. And then from here, what we can do is add different chart elements. You're going to make sure you have the table selected and that you're in the chart design. And then over here is add chart element. As you can see, there's the title. We already had that input. Data labels, legend. For this example, I'm going to add some data labels. I'll do it right on the center of the chart. As you can see, they popped right up. And then I want to show these as a percentage. So what I'm going to do is click on them and then right click, format data labels, and then select percentage. And I'm going to get rid of that value icon there. And then what I can also do is change the appearance. Under here, quick layout is a very fast way to change the overall layout of the table. You can change the colors. Say I wanted to make it all orange. And then up here, there's different formats just to change the basic look of it to make it look a little bit more fancy compared to the normal output. And that is your basic tutorial on how to make a 2D pie chart.
Alright, so for this section of our Excel tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and finding the sum of multiple numbers within Excel. So first, in your A column, you want to make 5 different sections: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then sum. So firstly, for addition, let's say you want to add the two numbers 5 and 5. So obviously that makes 10, but to do that within Excel, first you want to write equals 5 and then plus 5. Now it's very important that you put the equals first, because if you don't, it will not go through. Then you hit enter, and that'll give you 10. Now for subtraction, it's essentially the same thing, except you just want to obviously use the subtraction symbol as opposed to the plus. So for this case, you'll do equals, let's use 10 and 5, you do 10 minus 5 equals, you get 5. So for multiplication, it's a little different because you may assume that you'd use the X symbol, as that's how we've usually been taught. but it's actually not. So you'd use equals if you want to multiply 5 and 5. You'd do 5, and then instead of x, you'd use the asterisk symbol, and then add a 5 there, equals, or enter, and you should get 25. Then for division, let's say you want to divide 10 and 5. Do equals 10 slash 5, you get 2. Alright, so for sum, it's going to be quite different here. So in order to find the sum of, let's say, 5 different numbers, you pick your 5. Let's say we want to do 3, 5, 7, 8, and 4. Oh, and 4. Alright, so for this, you do find a random spot anywhere on the paper. It doesn't really matter where you do it, but I'm just going to pick this section right here because it's blank. So you do equals sum, parentheses, then you highlight these 5 numbers here, then close the parentheses, hit enter, and you can easily get the sum of these 5 numbers. And you can do as many numbers as you want as long as you highlight them and then do as I showed you with the equals and sum. And yeah, that's how you do simple math functions in Excel.
So in this video today, we will be learning how to construct a pivot table. These pivot tables allow you to efficiently display your data and compare multiple entities within one. For a pivot table, it's also common to use a larger set of data. You see here, my sample set of data is quite large. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the data that I want to use. In this case, it's the whole sheet, and you see this little box pops up, and this is the whole range of the data, and I want to put my table on a new worksheet, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. So after we click that, we see this box all the way to the left that pops up, which is eventually going to be our pivot table. And then towards the right, you see all the categories from or the row labels from our previous data set. And what I like to do, you can click them or I drag them. So the row labels, I'm going to add in traffic source, and then for the values, I'm going to drag in the exit rate and the scroll depth. So when you drag them into the boxes, you can see them appear in our table. As you can see, the numbers in the table currently are super large, and that's because the value is summarized by the sum. We want to change that to the average because it displays the value of our data a bit more effectively. And since these numbers are kind of overwhelming, I'm going to select them and just change the number of decimal points in our final answer. So here you have how to make a basic pivot table. I hope you can add this to your Excel toolbox of knowledge going forward.